Welcome to the Innovators Club for Women webinar channel, where innovation meets inspiration. I am the CEO and founder, Katie Cupstis. Okay. So I want to welcome you to the ICW community. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your story with us. Just thrilled to have you here. And I will just back up briefly and say I met Jasmine about a month ago. She's been featured in the Show Her the Money documentary. And I do have a link for that. So there has been a paid link posted for November 9th. You can pay $25 and watch the movie. I cannot recommend it enough. First of all, the money is going back to spread this message, and it's worth so much more than $25 a ticket. I can tell you that. And to hear Jasmine's story and to hear all of the women in this film, and to meet with the producers and speak with these VCs who are so passionate about funding women, just really makes me happy beyond words. I've been working in the startup space with women and those on a gender journey for about a decade now. And women are grossly underfunded. This is something I spoke at the America's Small Business Development Conference on the national level, alongside directors of the USPTO and other founders. And it's a very difficult process. So we're so thrilled you're here. Jasmine Jones is the founder of Myya, and this is about her journey to entrepreneurship. So we'll get started. So, Jasmine, what inspired you? And I put all the questions on the slides to make it easy for everyone. What inspired you to start Myya? And how have your experiences shaped your vision?
Yeah, so the short version is, founders have such long versions of our journey. So thank you for even bringing me here to share it with you, your audience. I watched my grandmother shop for post-mastectomy bras and breast forms, and it was always inside of a medical supply store behind aisles of like bedpans, adult diapers, laxatives. And this is where she needed to go every time she needed a new bra and new breast forms after her mastectomy. And I just remember thinking that someone should do something about this to make the experience better for survivors. I mean, she'd been long past her surgery, but every time she needed a new bra, she was reminded that she was a patient. And I didn't want her to have that experience, but I was a child. I didn't know how I could be impactful and help. Fast forward nearly 20 years later, I met a breast surgeon when I was Miss DC, and she was at a breast cancer walk. And she was telling me about how her patients were still going to this exact same store to buy post-mastectomy bras and breast forms. And I just immediately, the memories of my grandmother came flooding back. And I just said, maybe we could do something together. And we ended up launching a business about 2 years later, a brick and mortar store that housed a beautiful mastectomy shopping experience inside of a lingerie boutique. And then the pandemic happened. So we had to figure out how to pivot. And then we Myya, which is what we have now, where we offer these services and products with our own collection that I designed, and women can be fit from the comfort of home or from one of our telehealth or our pop-up locations across the USA. So either from telehealth or in person, they can feel beautiful. They don't have to feel like a patient anymore. And then beyond that, insurance covers the cost of these items to make paying for it easier. So we're the most size inclusive, color inclusive brand. And then we try to bring down any access to payment by handling the insurance billing. And we accept most major health insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid. So my goal is just to open up doors so that no one feels like how my grandmother felt during that experience.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And as someone who, my grandmother had Parkinson's, but I was incredibly close to her, and she passed away in 2015, and she was truly a second mother to me. So I fully understand that grandmother granddaughter connection, and this tribute to her. I know she's just smiling.
Yeah.
I won't cry, but yeah,
Oh,
it's really, really amazing.
thank you so much.
So some defining moments, and I think obviously you sort of have shared those already. But if you can think of any other pivotal moments that really propelled you, maybe after, meeting with or finding your partner, where did it go from there?
Well, yeah, there were so many defining moments. We opened the brick and mortar store in Breast Cancer Awareness Month of 2018. This week will actually be 6 years that we actually launched it. But when we opened the doors, there was a patient there who she just really stuck with me because she was hiding her journey from her.
I think our
Uh,
connection is, are you there?
okay,
I think we have oh darn it, are we gonna have a bad connection? Are you there?
can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes, it's a little, but okay, now
Okay,
I think we're okay now.
are you okay?
I think. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, no problem. We opened the door 6 years ago this week, which was incredible. And meeting a breast cancer patient who was hiding his journey from her family was probably one of the moments that stuck with me, definitely from the beginning, because I wanted to make sure we weren't othering our patients. And she
Yeah.
came in and she showed me that we were othering our patients. So that was one moment. And then a moment featured in the documentary was when I met Pocket and we began talking about what venture capital could do for our business. And that was a major shift as we started looking in that direction about how can we go from a boutique that has a tech component to a tech company that still has a boutique feel.
Yeah. I love that. That's amazing. All right. So how did you identify the niche of post mastectomy intimates? Obviously, you've already touched on that or given us the reason why. Um, but go into a little bit more. I know you did in the movie, why it's significant for you and your customers.
Yeah, what's so interesting is that we used to get a lot of feedback that the market wasn't big enough. So then I started going into rooms asking people like, "Do you know a breast cancer survivor?" And everyone would say yes. And I would say, "Okay, so obviously the market's not that small." But people would try to niche us down in the beginning. And this was around the time that direct to consumer products were really big. Like everything was about Casper and Warby Parker and how to get it
Yeah.
straight at Allbirds, get it straight to the customer, don't have a store. But I recognize to them, or I explained to investors and I explained to our customers that us having like a white glove approach to the business was actually serving our niche very well. And we shouldn't change that aspect. And then once I paired those two thoughts together, like, okay, we all know someone, we can give her white glove service and we can deliver a product to her doorstep. Then investors started taking us seriously. And then patients started seeing that we were a real brand that would care about them. And they were more than just a ticket number. And that really changed the game for us.
Yeah. That's huge. That's huge. So I know many of the women that are going to be listening to this is a big piece, right, of the puzzle. So the insurance billable fittings. From a high level, can you explain how the insurance billable custom fittings work? And obviously the importance to your clients just as a whole.
Yes. So from a high level, a patient has had a mastectomy. And now on her medical records, it says that she's had a history of breast cancer. When you have that in your medical records, by federal law, you're allowed post mastectomy bras and breast forms of various types by your insurance provider, no matter the insurance provider. This was a law passed in 1998. So what we do is we have our patients to connect with their physician to write them a prescription for our bras and our breast forms. And these prescriptions we're able to fulfill because we're a durable medical equipment distributor. And that is on a high level what we do. And then we bill the insurance on behalf of the patient on the back end. And then the insurance companies just pay us directly. So we try to eliminate the process of patients having to submit receipts for their products to their insurance and then hope to get reimbursed a part back. we take that hassle out of it. So our patients are really grateful for that, because talking to insurance can be a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
And they're likely to deny your claim, as a patient, if you just go in there, you don't know what you're filling out. So we try to remove that barrier for our patients. And then we also let them know, hey, we're here for your essentials that you need going forward. And these items are covered up to 12 bras a year, depending on your health insurance plan. And you can get new prosthesis every other year, and in some cases annually. So we check to make sure that everything a patient is eligible for, she receives. It's a
That's
lot.
awesome.
That is on the most basic level, but it's a
But thank you. I know there's so much that goes into it. That's why I said you can give us the highest level, because I totally understand. But really that gave us the gist of it more than even I expected. So thank you so much for that. Okay, so everyone faces so many challenges. And that's part of what we do here at ICW, is we really support each other when those challenges come up, and we're leaning on and learning from one another. So what challenges did you face in the product development phase? And did you have a community similar to ICW to support you? And how would that have helped potentially if you didn't have one?
I face every single challenge. If you name it, I probably have gone through it, but that's the thing, I've gone through it. I didn't get stuck there, and I didn't just quit because it got hard. I knew in my mind that every problem has a solution, and I would just take time to figure out the solution to solve a problem. I've been
Yeah,
through every challenge, almost every single thing that you could imagine that could happen happened. And I laugh because it's over, and it's, it was tough. We've had a lot of hurdles. I would probably say, even though I've raised billions of dollars in venture capital, our nearest competition has probably raised 30 times that, or probably has been funded. I won't even say through, but has been funded through various means with, hundreds of millions of dollars.
yeah,
So when I face an obstacle, it's my iPhone sometimes. To try to figure it out. So I would say having a community is really key, especially a group of founders who can limit you, or who may have had to solve that problem a few months before, and who can give you feedback as to solve it now, how to solve it now. And then I brought in advisors into my company, and that probably changed the game. So instead of just requesting mentorship from people, when I would meet a prospective advisor, I would offer them a very, very, very small portion of my company in exchange for their time. And that buy-in, I think, really helped to build relationships and have them on my side and rooting for me, and not like dreading my phone call when I do come up against a challenge and I need their help. So I would
love
definitely
that.
recommend there's an agreement called FAST agreement, and it's very standard terms, and it can negotiate a deal between advisor and company for how to best move forward. Give me
I
one more.
love that.
Katie, give me
Sure,
one quick.
sure. Ladies, you still with me? We will have time at the end for some questions. So keep your questions in mind, because I'm sure you're going to have some for her. And I don't have that many slides left, so you'll have an opportunity to ask her a few questions.
Sounds good.
Oh, and we are having somebody else is joining us, which is awesome. It's great. Hi, Tahira.
Hi.
Jasmine just had to step away. She's coming to us from her warehouse. So which is I believe it's in DC. It might be in hi Jasmine, is your warehouse in DC proper?
We're in Richmond.
You're in Richmond. Okay. That's right. That's right.
About
That's
2 from home.
yeah. which is awesome. That's wonderful. We just had somebody else join us as well, so that's great.
Hi, Tahira. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm outside walking.
Enjoy the weather.
Yes, it's nice. I'm
Yeah,
getting
I have some really rock star. This is such a weird time of day, I know, for so many people. So I know so many are disappointed they couldn't come on today, but they will be able to see the recording. And Amaryllis and Cynthia do have these adaptive type. Well, I told you about Cynthia's CJ's product, the wig product. Amaryllis has another adaptive wear type product for the breasts. And Tahira has a double Dutch robotic machine that she has created. She's a Penn State, she's her doctorate in engineering. So, and she's actually featured at the Smithsonian, Jasmine, which is so cool, right?
That is wonderful.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
because I
So,
know you're in DC.
thank
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, okay, so we'll continue. So we went through the challenges. So funding. This is one of the number one things that everybody wants to hear about. The key challenges you encountered while raising the 2.2 million. And then of course, and you probably haven't felt the full impacts of the movie yet, but how has that really influenced your journey? And I did add the picture here from Westchester University. There's me right up there. I don't know if you can see me, but um, really excited to hear about your responses to these.
Yeah, wow. So firstly with the film, I've had the opportunity now to speak in Zurich in the Philippines. I just got back from LA. Last night we had a screening in Baltimore. So it's really propelled our business from a local stage to a national stage and then to an international stage, which is incredible. So many opened. We actually had people interested in community investment. So we opened a community investment round on WeFunder so that people who were not fully accredited investors could, still contribute to the brand and still learn about how they can best support or start dabbling into venture. So that's been really cool. So if anyone is interested, definitely check out our WeFunder. Beyond that, raising the money, there were challenges, but I think I've always had so many hurdles that I didn't necessarily know that I was probably having a harder time because I'm a woman of color and a woman. I just thought that it was hard and that's how it's supposed to be. But then I talked to other people and they're like, yeah, so and so raised by just having an idea and a pitch deck, and you have traction and customers and
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
ships, and you've only raised 2 million. And 2 million seems like a lot, but in the world of venture, there's people who just write checks for 2 million over lunch. So for me, I didn't really see that I was facing challenges. I just thought I just want to keep my company going. But I will probably say that I have still a lot of equity in my company because I've been cautious about the checks that we do receive. And then the investors that I have are really good to us. So most of them are women. And I recognized when I was pitching this problem that exists for women, when I was pitching it to men, so often they didn't really see the purpose, the vision, the reason as to why the business should be here. Many of them would say after my long pitch explanation and everything, they'd say, well, why doesn't she just get a boob job now? And I would have to tell them reconstructive surgery is not a guarantee. It's not a solve for everyone. And it became really tedious to have to teach as to why this, or educate as to why this is a challenge for so many.
Yeah.
So I started pitching to women and funds that were immediately in the health tech space, and they understood it and they got it. And those are people who are now part of my business and my cap table. They believe in me and I respect their opinions when they give me feedback. So I would say those are some of my challenges and then how I was able to circumvent them.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, because I know it's going to be so helpful for so many women, every woman that listens to this.
And we're all impacted. So if there's a way that we can just provide a better solution,
Yeah.
then recommend it to other women. And I think that's how we keep money flowing in our feminine ecosystem, is
Right.
that the money that we spend is on brands that we believe in and that we support and that we love, and they're solving problems that we understand. I mean, when I hear the problems that you all are solving just on this call, I'm like, duh, women get it. We get these
Yes.
problems immediately.
Yes.
Um,
For more information and to watch our webinars in full, visit our website, innovatorsclubforwomen.org, and join as a member to build your startup for full success.